We wanted to record. Okay, it's recording.
I hope it's working. So thank you, Gina.
Morning. Welcome everyone. We're so happy to see so many people here. And I know we've become some
Recording in progress.
and time is very relaxed and some of you very far away. So thank you for coming. We're very excited about this workshop. A big team has been working for a long time. And today I would like to introduce you, Bente and Susanne. Who will help us through this workshop today. You take the next slide, please. We're going to show you today we'll have a type program. I'll give you 5 minutes for the workshop, including a short video. Then Benny and Susanne will present the project, how we did and why we did it. We'll have a short question and answers, and then you start working. We have prepared something so you really can start thinking and discussing and getting great ideas if you want to do this, or understanding why it might not be possible the same way you country, but you can first do it. So we really hope that you participate actively and you can take some things home. This is the beginning of the journey for many of you. And we hope you decide to go the journey with us. And with this, we'll start with the video I've made as an appetizer. enjoyed it. Before I give the word to Bente and Susanne, if you go to goldenfight.org in your computer, regardless of the country, it might appear first time in Danish or another language. You put the mouse in the middle of the page, right click, a little menu shows up saying one of the possibilities, translate. Then you select translate and translate to your language. You can get it in any language Google translates to. When you go to another page, it might be a little annoying and take you back to Denmark and put it in English again. Then you just do it the same way. And it's complete. So with this, I'll give the word to Susanne.
Thank you, Maria. It won't work.
It won't work?
No.
You just have to
Okay.
press the right button.
Zonta focuses on both sustainable goal number 4 and number 5. Number 4, expanding access to education, more specifically target 4.7, saying that by 2030 ensure that all learners acquire the knowledge and the skills needed for promoting sustainable development, including, among others, human rights and gender equality, etc. Number 5, advocating for gender equality, reads that gender equality socio-economic implications, yet gender inequalities are deeply rooted in every society. Although progress has been made, no country in the world has a gender equal society yet. We started this project, as you saw on the video, because Denmark lags behind in developing a gender equal society. Our purpose is to give students, and that is girls and boys, an understanding of goal number 5 in order to include them in developing a gender equal society. And in addition to actively advocating the gender equality, we also have the benefit that the knowledge about Zonta and what Zonta stands for is broadened among teachers, students, and our partners. And we do it by developing, operating, and maintaining this online teaching platform containing courses and teaching material that can be used by teachers free of charge. We have organized our project organization in a steering committee responsible for the overall organization of the creative process, holding the overall responsibility for the project and also managing the project. They're also responsible for a marketing plan and for executing the direct marketing. And that is getting the word out about the platform to whoever could be interested. And finally, the steering committee is responsible for raising the necessary funds and, of course, managing the fund budgets. We have a working group responsible for finding high school teachers to produce the courses for the platform. There is an e-learning consultant responsible for building and maintaining the online teaching platform, and an editorial group responsible for the academic content of the platform and ensure that the teaching material is the quality we need. And finally, we have a communication group, and the communication group is responsible for a communication plan, and that is who is the target groups, what message to bring on which media and when. And they also prepare the feeds for the social medias and the marketing materials, etc. We have raised approximately 40% of the finances necessary for the project within the Zonta communication in Denmark. But we have been very lucky to have 60% of our funds donated by a private fund, to whom, of course, we are very grateful, and the fund is the Maya-donationen. And now I'll give back the floor to Bente.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. So how did we come along with this advocacy project? We did not start with having an online platform from the start. We started another place, and I'll go through that. We started with having, we started with the first step. The second step is what Suzanne just told you about. That's the platform. But the first two steps, the first step was in 2018 and 19, where we invited a number of high schools to join the project. And before I start to explain that, I'll just tell you a little bit about the Danish education system. The Danish education system ensures that all people acquire knowledge and competences that qualify them to take active part in society and contribute to its further development. Education is open to all, and it's normally free of charge. The structure is that the kids, they start in kindergarten, but then they continue in school from 6 to 17 or 16 years old. We have 10 years of compulsory education in Denmark. The age is from 6 to 16 or 17 years. That's what we call the primary and the lower secondary education. Then they continue to what we call upper secondary education, also referred to as the youth education. We have general upper secondary education, which primarily prepares the students for continuing on a higher education. And then we have vocational education and training, which primarily prepares the students for a career in a specific trade or industry. The main target group for this project is the general upper secondary education, and that is the high schools. That's the main target group for our project so far anyway. In high school, teachers, they are required to teach their students about gender equality in Denmark. In fact, all of the sustainable goals are required to be taught in Danish schools. Teachers in Denmark, they are given very high freedom to plan their lessons. For each discipline or each year level at school, there is a framework and a general syllabus for teachers that they are required to follow. However, within the syllabus, teachers may choose to a certain extent which topics to teach in, what books to read, how long time to spend on a given topic, what methods to teach, and very importantly, how to teach. Danish students are encouraged to be very independent, and they are. Great emphasis is placed on their learning to think critically and act accordingly. So that was a little bit about the Danish education system. Back to the timeline. As I said before, we have made this project in 2 steps, and the first step was in 18 and 19, where we invited a number of high schools. In 2018, we invited a number of high schools and the teachers from the central part of Jutland in Denmark. The high school teachers, they were invited to put gender equality on the schedule and to an event to end the semester. The theme was for 2018, that was Say No, Speak Up. 7 high schools and 7 teachers accepted our invitation. And over a semester, approximately 150 students, they worked with that team, Say No, Speak Up. In 2000 and,
As Bente is going back, I would like to say that the presentation, the manual, and the videos are in the app. So if you don't get notes or you cannot make pictures, you can find it in the Hoover app. Everything is there.
So, thank you. So, sorry for that. In 2019, we invited again a number of high schools, and again, 7 high schools accepted our invitation, which of them 3 were new. And again, 150 students approximately worked with the team. And this year, the team was gender equality, sustainable goal number 5, gender equality. From 2020 and on, we took the next step, which was elaborating and developing the online platform. We got the idea that we would want to spread the teaching material from 2018 and 19 to the rest of Denmark and to the rest of the high school teachers. So we worked on launching this online platform, and the work continues until the end of the project period, which is by 2024. That was just a little bit about how we got along with this project. So we did not start with the online platform. We started with collaborating with the high schools and making an event, which we, by the way, highly recommend you to start with, because that's a high motivation factor for the high schools and for the teachers. Yeah. A little bit more about the events in 2018 and 19. In 2019, as I said before, the theme was Say No, Speak Up. We were inspired by the Zonta Says No campaign, but we twisted it a little bit, so it became Say No, Speak Up. We suggested that the students, they could work with topics such as #MeToo, how to say no to physical and or mental abuse, how to uphold proper ethics on social medias, and a couple of other topics that they could work with. However, the teachers and the students, they were free to interpret the theme as they wanted to, because as I explained before, the teachers can choose how to work, how to teach. The teaching did not generally entail additional work for the teachers, because they had to anyway teach in gender equality. So what they worked with, they worked with the theme in the following subjects. That was Danish, that was drama, that was English, music, and social studies. And the result of the teachers and the students' work was a series of essays, poems, short stories, video productions, music video productions, and a drama play that the students presented to the audience and those present at the event. This year, this year, the project included a competition among the participating classes, and the winner was voted by, we found the winner by a Kahoot voting, and all of the classes participating were given a prize. There was a little bit difference between the first prize and all the second prizes, but they all gained a prize. They all had a prize, and all the prizes, they were sponsored by Danish companies, different Danish companies. The whole event was a 3-hour session on a Saturday afternoon. Yes. In 2019, we repeated the project, and we also made an event, but we changed it a little bit. Against 7 high schools and participated, and we had sorry. We had this theme, which was Sustainable Development Goal number 5, gender equality, that they worked with. And we suggested that the students, they could work with the following themes: why are forced marriages of minors not sustainable? The right to decide over one's body, that is abortion, circumcision, how many children one can have, etc. Gender equality in general, that is right to educate, right to education, to work and to work precision, equal pay, etc. And the evolution of gender equality over the last 100 years was also a theme, and a couple of other themes. This year we asked the students to make an academic assignment and a 3-minute video that should demonstrate how they had worked on the theme that they had chosen. And the video had to answer the questions such as, what have the students learned? How is the academic work and the subjects and their learning relevant to them in and out of school, relevant to their lives in and out of school? So this year we did not have any competition, but we had made available for the teachers a lot of links to relevant material on gender equality on different platforms, on different sites, which we made available via Dropbox for the teachers. They could use it if they needed any inspiration. As I said before, the event did not include a competition, but was organized as a debate evening. We had a modern, she calls herself a modern Danish feminist, Emma Holten, to say welcome and to set the scene. And she had a provocative and inspiring opening presentation on how gender equality stands in Denmark. And as we saw before, we're not so proud of our position in Denmark because we lagged behind. And then this presentation was also a warming up for the following debate. Then all the 3-minute videos were shown as an inspiration, the videos the pupils had made, the students had made. And then they were organized in mixed groups, and they had a debate roundtable around the table, and it was facilitated by the Zontanians that participated in that event. It was also a 3-hour session, but it was held on an evening, a weekly evening, not a Saturday afternoon as in 2018. Yes. So that was a little bit more about the events. And we, as I said before, we highly recommend that you start with collaborating with some schools and making an event, because that's the motivation anyway in Denmark for the teachers to put on gender equality on the schedule. So I'll hand it back.
Thank you, Bente. Now we will take a look into step 2, the free online teaching platform. And here you see the front page of the platform. And part of the welcome text is, welcome dear teacher, welcome to go5.org, a platform for teachers who want to work with gender equality in their lessons. The material on the platform was prepared by high school teachers and can be used in high school education and the oldest class at primary school level. It can be used in the subject Danish, English, history, and social studies. The material also makes it possible for teachers to create interdisciplinary courses and includes various literary and non-literary texts, videos, assignments, debate questions, and much more, all of which address issues such as women's rights, human rights, and gender equality. The platform continues to grow. More courses will be added in the future. At the time, we are considering a course in mathematics, which we look very much forward to. And the existing courses will, of course, be updated regularly. The teaching material on the platform are just as relevant for young men as for young women, and this we feel is very important. At the front page, you also find the structure of the platform. And you see it here. The individual subjects contain different courses, which from different angles and in different ways deal with issues related to goal number 5. The subjects so far are, as just mentioned, Danish, English, history, and social studies. And as of now, we have 11 different courses that you see depicted here. And here you see an example of one of the courses. That is from the course Women's Rights. And it entails, as I told you, videos, texts, exercises, and guidance to the teachers. If you want, you can have this very short introduction when you leave the room. As I told you, we marketed the platform in close cooperation with our Zonta clubs. The steering committee provided the material needed to the Zonta clubs, who then sent out the letters and made the contact with the high schools. They also distributed this Goal 5 org flyer, which has been placed in front of you. You can also have more of these if you want to bring them home. Currently, we use Facebook and Instagram as our social medias. And that is in order, of course, to keep the users updated. We also post newsletters directly on the platform. And then we have just started a new initiative, putting feeds up on the social medias in the relevant teacher organizations. And that is, of course, done by high school teachers. We have now connected to them, and they will bring our news in their closed Facebook site. We, as steering committee, is also seeking participation in different forums, and that is the yearly conferences of the principals, yearly conferences of the relevant teacher organizations, etc. And finally, we are inviting to cooperate with us, with other NGOs, with student organizations, which we are very, we have big expectations for the student organizations because they need this education and they want it. And then, of course, other organizations and politicians, and much more might follow. And I will give back the word to you, Bente.
Thank you so very much. So we're just about to end now. If you need more inspiration, and you can also find this handbook on Hoover. Thank you. Thank you. If you need more inspiration, you can find this handbook already on Hoover. We have written it, it tells you the same story as we have told you now, but it contains a bit more details. And a lot of guiding questions, what to consider if you want to start a similar project in your home club and in your country. So it's for inspiration, and you have to be aware that when you start, you have to adopt your project to your country, to your local conditions. We have learned a lot from what we have done in Denmark, but it's not the same that you might be learning when you start. So please remember to take it as just as good advices, questions to look into, but not as that is the way you should do it. It was our way in Denmark. So you can find it on Hoover. And if you want more of them, and if you can't find it on Hoover, then you can send us an email and we will post it to you as a PDF. That was it. That was it. So now have a little time to questions and answers, 10 minutes about before it's going to be your turn.
And there are some questions, and also in the chat we can see, we will try to answer those as well. But now it's for the room.
How has this been received by the students?
I don't know, can you hear me if I speak up? Yeah, it has been very well received. The students they are very keen on how the teachers have got inspiration to work with it. And we have, as Susanne told us, we have made a collaboration with the Danish Students Association, and they were so excited about it that they want to marketing it and to make speeches about it, etc., etc. So they are very keen on it. Those students who have, well, the teachers, they have used the material. Yeah.
I had,
Yeah, the question is here.
Okay. Sorry.
I had two questions. One, if you have Z clubs and if they were involved in helping promote this,
Pardon?
if you have Z clubs, the high school Zonta clubs.
We do
No,
not.
no,
if I
we
can
do
ask-
not.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then interesting to see, I saw there was a number of boys, the percentage of girls versus boys. I suspect that there were much more girls that were involved, or no?
No,
Oh,
because, well, we have mixed classes in Denmark. Boys and girls, they go together.
yes.
So the education was, and the teaching was for both of them. And what the first year, what was the most exciting thing was that we had a working group from a class where the main part was boys, and they had worked on the theme, why is marriage, young marriage, marriage under 18 not sustainable. They had worked with that, and it was very interesting to hear the boys' reflection on that theme. Yeah, it was.
I would like to add a bit about this Z and Golden Z Club participation. We don't have those clubs in Denmark, unfortunately. That's why they were not involved.
Speak up.
I say that the reason why the project did not involve the Z or Golden Z clubs is because we do not have those clubs in Denmark, not because we didn't want them. It's just they're not there.
No, the question.
Can you tell something about the impact already of the whole project?
Well, yes, we can tell a little bit about the impact, because I have spoken to some students, which is in the third year of high school, and which have had the education and what impact it had made on them. And then I asked a friend's son, well, did you ever get any education in gender equality in high school? Oh, I really can't remember. Maybe we had 2 hours. So when the teachers they take it in, it'll have a great impact. Yeah, but we haven't. We are going to make an evaluation this autumn on the impact, where we ask the teachers what impact has it had on you and the students, etc., etc. But we don't have any details on it so far.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Please, hello. My name is Pat Latona. I'm governor of District 3 and I'm from New York City. And I guess my question, I think this was great. I've heard it before online, and I'm back again to learn more about it because I think it's a fabulous way of getting in on the ground floor. But that's my question. Is in New York, the education system is quite arduous to maneuver through because I tried to do a Z club and I worked on it for 2 years and had to give it up. So I'm wondering, I mean, Denmark, of course, is completely different, but going through the system, the hierarchical system of a school district, Department of Education, whatever you call it, how did you go about doing that? Because I would love to try to implement this in New York, but who knows? Thank you.
So we know there are a lot of questions, but we want to do some work. We want to do some workshop. So what I'm going to do now, you get the opportunity to answer. I'm going to give you some yellow post-its. I'm going to distribute them on the tables, and then you can write your question there so we can capture. Please write in a way we can read. Time, not to write it, but if you give us a question, we'll be happy to post it and send it. Okay?
There is although one question which is very vital, and so.
Yeah, but I think there was the first answer to camera.
No, we haven't. Because
We have another here. So
just, sorry.
Hello, good morning. I'm a teacher, and I would like to know if you have thinking about including all the schools of the Erasmus Plus project. That is a project, a European project. And I think it would be very interesting for Zonta to be known all around Europe, and also for teachers and students.
Thank you very much for the question. I'll just answer the question from before. I would recommend that if you can get a personal contact to 1, 2, 3 schools, and then make an agreement with some teachers, which was what we did in Denmark. We had personal contacts with the schools beforehand, 4 or 5 of them, and asked, do you think it would be interesting for you to work with gender equality? And they said, yes, absolutely. And then we spread out the word. We sent the invitation to 12, 14 schools, of which 7 accepted our invitation. So a personal contact first, and then spread the news, but go slowly ahead before you launch a great program. I think that would be a good idea. That, in fact, was the experience from us, that we started with the small. We made some good experience, and then we worked on that. And as to the Erasmus, we haven't had direct contact to the Erasmus schools. For those of you who don't know what Erasmus is, that is a collaboration between European schools, high schools, but we haven't.
High school and
Yeah.
Students from 14 years old until university. So
Yeah. From 14 up to higher education. But we haven't had direct contact to them. Although in Denmark, we have schools called Sustainable Goals Schools, and we have had contact to them. There are schools that have obliged themselves to work specifically with the United States Sustainable Goals, all of them, or chosen some of them. So we have had contact to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Advocacy from Abidjan, West Africa. My question is about the impact of the girls on at home, because for instance, in our countries, for public life and everything, you have no stigma about gender, meaning you can do every activity you want, but they don't send girls to school. This is another problem. But the main problem is at home. Women have so much work that they cannot think of doing something else. So I want to know the impact of the girls on domestic activities. Then it will be really interesting for us. Thank you.
It's a very big question. Not the same problems in Denmark, but we have them all. We have them also. What we believe in this project is that if you start with the youngsters, they might be able to have an impact on the parents and their lives at home. But it's small steps, and you have to be patient, and you have to stay focused, and you can't change it overnight. Although it is a very, very important session. But if you can have teachers, some pupils to understand the importance of gender equality also at home, they might be able to advocate for gender equality at home. I hope it was a short question to a very big answer. It was sorry.
And for sure, that was our choice, to start with the youngsters and have them making the driving force for a sustainable development in Denmark. And they are very positive. Okay, I think we should take the questions in the yellow post-its, and we will then apply our answers on the Hua app. Okay?
Yeah, we have a little time. to work with the following. So we would very much want you to focus on this question: how to support gender equality through education in your local Zonta club. In front of you, you have a action plan. How do you support gender equality through education in your Zonta club? And in front of you, you have an action plan with 5 questions. I'll just go to that. So we would like you to have some reflections on your own individually on these 5 questions. You might just focus on the first one. Why is it important for you and your Zonta club to work with education and gender equality? That is the why. And then comes the how. What would be the benefits for who and for you in your Zonta club? Who to involve? Who to involve and when in your Zonta club?
You have to speak up. We can't hear.
Okay. Okay, I'll take the microphone then. Who to involve and when in your Zonta club? How to involve them? How to involve them and when in your Zonta club, etc. But I think the time is only for the first question. So focus on why is it important for you and your Zonta club to work with gender equality through education. I'll give you 4 minutes, and then you can turn to your. Then we'll form groups. Okay.
Skal vi lægge den tilbage til tiden?
Nej, fordi den har jeg ikke gennemgået, den der.
Ja.
Jeg ser, der er 12
Okay. Så det kan være, at der ikke er nogen substantielle spørgsmål.
Jeg har skrevet det, der er en fra Hamburg, der har sendt mig et spørgsmål og siger, har du set, at der er blevet taget? Og jeg siger til ham, at vi ser
Ja. Nå, okay, så det gør han. Nej.
Vi lever tør.
Ja, det gør vi.
Jamen det er det, for jeg siger,
Skal vi disponere den sidste tid? Det er jo kun kvarter, vi har tilbage.
så I kunne følge vores plan. Nu går jeg tilbage til, jeg går tilbage til præsentationen.
Men lige nu, så vi skulle have haft en halv time til det her, og så vi skal lige finde ud af, at nu sidder vi og arbejder i grupper.
Altså jeg mener, der står fra 11.5 til 11.10 skulle man introducere workshops. Og så 11.10 skulle man starte med at arbejde. 11.5 til 11.10 det var introduction to the workshop. 11.10 til 11.40 workshop including 45 persons. Men hvis man skal igennem alle de her ting.
Så meget tid har vi ikke. Vi har
til 11.40.
Ja. Vi har 20 minutter, 25 minutter nu.
Ja, men der var mange ting, man skulle igennem.
Ja, og det er jo det, vi gerne vil have det til, og så tager vi færre i plenum, altså svar i plenum.
Ja, der var et kvarter plenum.
Ja, og det får vi kun på 5 minutter. Hvis du siger, det der, det er ingenting. Det der, det er 10 minutter før, så skulle vi gerne slutte klokken 5 minutter over halv med gruppearbejde.
Ja, men nu er det 4 minutter, og hun har givet det, der er ikke nogen, der timer. Jeg kan godt time det.
Ja, men jeg vil lige sætte mig ned og time, men jeg vil lige have det med, hvad det hedder. Efter de 5 minutter skal de vente op og arbejde. Og så skal de debattere. Og så det også inviterer det forskellige for. Både jeg består for udspillet reception. Ja.
Jamen, det starter om 3 minutter.
Men det vi er blevet enige om tidsmæssigt, det er, at nu ringer jeg med klokken og siger, at nu er de færdige med at lave deres individuelle overvejelser, og så har de et kvarter til at tale sammen i en gruppe.
Jamen, vi har jo kun 10 minutter tilbage.
Nej, vi har jo ikke.
Nej, men vent lige lidt. Vi skal først ud.
Ja, så det er kun 5 minutter, de har til, at vi har jo ingen tid til plenum. Og det er også bedre, at de diskuterer internt, er det ikke det?
Prøv nu lige vent lidt. Vi har jo til klokken 12.
30.
Nej.
Når vi har til klokken 12, ja, fordi at
Så er vi
vi
jo
har
slet
lige...
ikke bagud.
Nej.
Vi er slet ikke
Så
bagud.
skal de bare arbejde i grupper.
Ja, så
Vi
jeg...
skal ikke have en introduktion af, hvem de er, og vi skal ikke tælle med, hvem de er, hvor de kommer fra.
Det skal de ikke bruge tid på.
Så
Ja,
det kan de gøre nu.
ja. Men der er stadigvæk nogen, der sidder og skriver.
Men vi har da tid til klokken 12.
Vi har tid til klokken 12.
Det ved jeg, men det jeg mener er, at det folk kan lide det at tale.
Ja,
Så I skal ikke
gør de
få
nu.
det, I skal ikke få det der med, men tælle også til, så skal I ikke tænke på det med plænen, så vi
Nå.
tager 5 minutter plænen, det vil sige minimum 10.
Ja.
Men du kan sætte nu, de grupperne, de er allerede i gang med at arbejde snart, så vi kan bare sige, nu var det her individuelt, det kan godt se, hvis
Ja.
skal vi lige tage på?
So, now you have had a little time, which was meant to be individually, which means no speaking, but anyway. So now you have a quarter of an hour to work in groups. So turn around and continue your discussions, and then we'll end up with the plenary. Yeah.
Hvis det gælder om at få dem til at arbejde, så gør de det nu. Vil du have sådan en her? Når tror du, det er rigtigt tidspunkt til at de her grønne gule poster, skal vi gøre det først, når du siger, at de skal bruges? Fordi jeg er bange for, at hvis vi ligger ud på bordene nu, så stiller de spørgsmål. Jeg havde ellers mange her foran mig, men det tog vi bag, og det kom flere ind. Attending. So, du kan se deroppe, at der er nogle spørgsmål i chatten. Kan du se det deroppe? Så du skal stoppe på sin, eller du skal gå til, du kan godt beholde din præsentation, men du skal gå over til Zoom. Hvis du trykker på Escape, tror jeg. Hvad så? Så skal vi over til Zoom. Det der vindue, så klikker du gør det, jeg kan ikke det der. Du klikker på den der 13-tal deroppe. Der. Og så kan du se alle de spørgsmål, der er. Og det skal vi gerne kunne svare på det.
Ja, men det gør vi ikke nu.
Nej, jeg kan ikke på telefon, for jeg kan ikke logge på telefon som moderator, men du kan skrive der, we will answer the questions after the session. Hvis du bare kan skrive, we will answer all the questions after the session. Ja, fordi så ved de det, så de ikke bliver nervøse. Zona, jeg kan sende det på en bestemt kamera. Ja, jeg kan sende en mail. Share det kontra dine med din mobiltelefon. Ja, du skal plus 45, så er det 20, 20, 40, 49, 95, 49, og så siger jeg, og så sender jeg det. Og så får du hendes kontakt. Ja, tak. Vil du gerne skrive til, fordi jeg har jo lavet jeg samarbejder, så jeg ved lidt om det, så måske kan jeg give hende nogle fif til, hvordan vi kommer i gang med det.
Ja, super.
Altså, jeg kan da prøve i hvert fald. Det kan aldrig skade.
Dejligt. Og du skriver, at vi vil svare.
Ja,
Men
men,
så er de nervøse.
men der er faktisk ikke rigtig nogen spørgsmål. Det er mere sådan,
Readers and meeting.
at de er glade for, at de har kunnet deltage.
Så er der den, der hedder Q&A's der, nummer 3. Det er Q&A's. So the analyst says, I found it interesting that included multidisciplines in the program. How did that evolve? Since it's already didn't listen clearly, my question is who designed the content of the programs? Anonymous attendee, do you have the chat page open? Yeah, that's they are into my. Because jeg kan godt, hvis du nu trykker på den der type an answer til Sing.
Den her?
Yeah. I say, who designed the content? It was designed by school teachers, by high school teachers.
By high school teachers.
And then we say send.
Wait a minute. And a specialist.
Here I did. Så sender du den. Ja. Og det næste var det very interesting. Multiple discipline. How did that evolve? Den her link svarer, så kan jeg skrive det.
Jamen, det var den der drama-lærer, som simpelthen besluttede.
Ja, så siger du selv. Og jeg tænker, at nu er det tid til at kalde dem ind til om 5 minutter. It's anonymous. Do you have the chat open? You say yes. Now. Så nu har vi taget lidt flere af det.
Super godt.
Men det, til næste gang, der tager jeg min computer med, fordi så kan jeg svare, men du fatter. Det er mere, fordi jeg tror, jeg kun via telefon, men når jeg logger op på telefon, så er jeg en gæst og ikke en moderator. Jeg kan ikke logge på som moderator på den. Thank you for sharing. Imagine classes. So, Vasco comments, thanks for all the sharing with us. We'll take this on board for the future.
Jamen, det er bare nogle kommentarer, de skriver. Det er ikke spørgsmål.
Nej, så kan du bare skrive, thank you for sharing all this.
Ja.
Okay.
Men det skal vi ikke vente på det. Nu har jeg skrevet, at...
Ja. Ja, de skal have tid til at putte de der ting deroppe i, også inden de går kl. 12. Kl. 12 smutter de til frokost.
Ja.
Så jeg tænker, hvis de skal have noget på de der poster, så skal de i hvert fald have 3 minutter eller et eller andet.
Ja.
Og det er det, de skal skrive i de grønne post-its, ikke?
De grønne og de gule. Ja, dem har de så ved at dele op, så de lige er til at smide ud. Ja. Time is running out. You have 2 minutes to finish your discussion. 2 minutes to finish your discussion. Then you'll have plenary. And you bring the 2 minutes to finish your discussion.
Det, jeg synes er lidt sjovt, at de spørger om, det er det der, altså de har fået en opfattelse af, at vi kun henvender os til high schools. Og jeg siger, at alt det her, det er et spørgsmål om tid, og så en udvikling derfra. Det er også, altså, at vi har valgt, at det var high schools, når vi kører vores marketing. Men selvfølgelig vil vi efterfølgende køre marketing på det. Og det der med, hvor i vores system så vi startede med bare på high schools, og derfra gå til teach organization, til hvad det hedder, og så konsulenterne, så fagkonsulenterne, altså det der, jeg tror ikke, vi har fået det siden nok, at vi er i en proces, og det her, det er en udbredelse, og ingen som henvender sig til os, og det er om adgang til vores platform, bliver afvist, uanset hvor det er vores virksomhed er. Det tror jeg, vi skal sige til det her.
Jeg har time med det, så ikke nu.
Hey, hallo. Når vi skal lave plenary, så skal vi tage det første spørgsmål først, og så får vi den der. Ja, så tager jeg det. Og kun én kommentar.
Jeg får en vildt til det, fordi så styrer jeg 2 minutter i stedet. Er det dig, der styrer? Nej, nu går det lidt. Det skal vi. Nej, 5 minutter har vi. Vi har 5 minutter.
Nej, vi har et kvarter til plenary.
Ja, nej, det er til
Vi har 5 minutter. Ja, okay. Bring them all.
Time is up. We now proceed to the plenary. Please have your front up here.
So now we will have a short sweep of the plenary. And we have 2 questions. We'll ask the first question first. And we will have someone going with the microphone. And we would very much like to have you to speak up and say, what is the single most important thing you take with you from this workshop? What is the single most important thing you take with you from this workshop?
It's maximum 1 minute. So we can get yeah. 1 minute. And
I will.
It will be time in it. Okay.
You try to say something?
We have 1 sentence start with the youngsters. Start with the youngsters.
Good point. And I hope some say they are ready to say a word here. Otherwise, I just pick you. Let's start with you.
Try to find partnerships with other clubs or schools. You have to have partners.
Start with youngsters and get partners.
And get partners. Good point.
Yeah, and because the most important thing is to start at a young age so that you grow with it, and you have to adapt to different system and different countries, but it's the same problem. It can be helped.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Could I ask you to state your name and your club in order for us to be familiar with one another?
Good point. But again, start with the youngest. That was the primary point. And the other point is to adapt to different countries.
Yeah, and then the courses and the system should, of course, be adapted to the specific country.
Yeah.
Relate your project to the working world.
And the name on the club?
Sorry, there are things. My president.
Could you please,
Germany.
could you please elaborate on that answer, that you would relate it to the working world? What do you think?
I think we have discussed in our group that young people have to learn the restrictions that are there in society, at least in our German society, for women in the working world, and they have to invent measures against these restrictions.
And that's, if I must say, it's a very good point. In Denmark, I have experienced that in high schools and schools, everybody believes there is gender equality. Yes, it is. It's when they start going to the working place, when they realize that the girls say, oh, you are in the certain age, so they select a man, or when they have to get promotion, and then they realize that we don't have gender equality in Denmark. So that's a good point.
And it's not only the hierarchy in the working world, that's the one point, but the other point is who raises the children.
And that's the work group here, but yeah. Let's see other who have some supplements.
The one most important thing you take with you?
Yeah. Gabi Barton from Zonta Sweden. I learned once more that is a process of you have to be very sustainable to work on it. You don't have to stop, and you have to involve girls and boys, men and women. So, and I think the success factor is variety. So it's vice versa, gender equality in both directions. And that is, for me, and I think for our club, a kind of to broaden this way of thinking, to cultivate this way of thinking. So we have the focus on girls and women, but we have to integrate and to evolve and to hear the impact, like you said, of the boys and women.
I normally say that gender equality is not a female issue, it's a societal issue. And if we don't have half of the population of the men on board, then we will only achieve half of the success. We need to have everybody on board.
I would like to ask a question about how would you organize this starting up working with the education? It was one of the questions. I don't know if there are any groups who have reflected on that. How would you organize it? You said partnerships, but other reflections to how to do it when you get home.
Okay.
Hello, Lisa Schmidt here. I'm from the Wismar area club, so not very far away from Germany. And although I have not heard about this project or this program before, we have discussed this topic in our Zonta club, and we were going to have a stand on the local Berufsmesse. There they wanted to book, but then Corona stopped everything, but it will come in the future. They wanted to have us as a short speaker, speaking about the gender equality issue and gender equality and raise awareness about it amongst these young students who are starting their professional career and have to choose the way they want to orientate themselves. And at that time, I think there's a big gap between reality and the awareness of the students, because at school they are treated, at least in our area, quite equally, but then they are not even aware that after the studies, girls start with a lower salary than the boys, so they need to know about it before they study, and that's why we wanted to participate in this messe or salon, or I don't know what you call it in English. Yeah.
Very good point, and that's what we're going to deal with, exactly the question about the inequality in wages in the coming math course. So, der var en af disse.
It is my experience from a peacemaking organization that it's really difficult to add to the curriculum in schools. So, but in Zonta we already have beautiful tools such as the Young Women in Public Affairs Award. So I hope it gives you inspiration to use those girls and to talk to them and to, because they're the real experts of what's happening in schools.
Can I have a short comment on that? Because in Denmark, we do not have extra hours for education on sustainable development goals and gender equality. We simply have to add it into one of the Danish classes or whatever. So we don't have extra hours either.
But the fixed hours are also scheduled and programmed.
Okay, okay. There we have some.
We still should try.
Yeah.
I just wanted to underline what you said because we're both former Young Women in Public Affairs bodies, and now we have the chance to attend these meetings and these workshops, and yeah, it does have an impact because we're like the proof of that, and I hope in a few years.
Wonderful. Where do you come from?
I'm from Germany, and she is. I'm from Sri Lanka.
Wow, wonderful. We have a question over here. Irene? Or comment?
Hello, my name is Pia Liegman and I'm coming from the Netherlands, from Zonta Drenthe. I have one reaction, and that is to implement this kind of programs in teaching programs in the Netherlands is very, very difficult. But I think there's one subject, and that's how do we the greatest difference will come from the teacher, the behavior of the teacher, and how in the classroom. And how can we change all those teachers? I think that's the main question. So maybe we have to adapt some education programs in universities and professional high schools to get them aware from the importance of this subject.
Very interesting comments. And of course, we have also been thinking about that it could be interesting to invite some of the teachers to an event. That could also be an idea. And that was actually the Danish student organization who said that could be relevant. Yes. So make them interested.
Yes,
somehow.
yes.
In a way together.
Yeah. There's a question up here.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Annalisa. I'm from Zonta, Copenhagen, Denmark. And just to follow up on what you mentioned there, what I took with me from this minute was that you mentioned that we should do it in the small and then use our network. And if there's something we in this room have, is network. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And we just really have to do our utmost to take ownership into this and use our network, spread the word to those. We all have children, more or less, many or well, and we have our children have gone to school. We know all these teachers ourselves. So starting in the small, grabbing one teacher, mentioning it, spreading the word, that can really make a movement. And then you don't have to think too much politically and go up here. Just start there and just see what rings in the water. We can spread so easily if we just do it and own it. That's my minute.
Peter Rudolph from the Zonta Club in Groningen in the Netherlands. all of you who have in their network teacher education, I would like to recommend that you do something, and that is the following. Most teacher education programs do not know that the bias that we all have makes such that teachers during technical classes and math classes have far more eye contact with boys than with girls. And so it is important that teacher education makes an investment in eye tracking glasses that the teachers wear when they do their first lesson in front of the class, so that afterwards they can be made aware of the fact that they have been looking much more at the boys than at the girls. Because once you know that you are doing it, you can change it. So spread this knowledge to any teacher education program that you are in touch with. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all your comments and what you have taken with you. A good advice. Somebody asked about men and equality on the material, on the platform, but you have to have a login to get access to that. But you can Google a TED talk by a Canadian man who speaks about why gender equality is important for men too. And it's a very, very good TED talk. A Canadian guy, TED talk, why gender equality is important for men too. Google that and show that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We will put the link on our site.
Yeah. For men too. So we will have to end up now. We'll ask you kindly to help us improve this workshop. So you have some green posters on your table. Please pass them on. Take one yellow and one green, please. One yellow and one green. No, it'll come.
It is on its way.
So in 1 second, right on the green one, what went well, and on the yellow one, what we could improve till next workshop that we'll have on Monday, if we can manage to do so. And before leaving the room, please put on the post-it on the wallpaper back there. Okay? So when you put the green one under the blue smiley face and the yellow one under the red arrow.
I take the picture.
So before you leave, we want to say thank you very, very much for your attention. Feel free to write to us if you have any more questions or you need anything from us.
You have now everyone approved this session. Thank you. Yeah, this is and if you have a special issue, then you can also have that. You're welcome. Very good. Ja, please. Jawohl, danke. Und guter Workshop. Danke. Yes. Do you want